Welcome back to another episode of Get To Da Choppa Part 2. I'm your host, Andy Godoy, and I'm back again with another one of these podcast things that I'm doing where I'm doing review reactions. Now, obviously, again, I'd like to apologize. I can't use any video footage or any music footage because the videos or podcasts would get pulled. I don't know how people get around doing them. I know, like in America, they've got some sort of fair use policy, but you know what? These things take quite a bit of time to actually record and do, and I haven't got enough time to sort of mess around and get around doing it. So anyway, today's film, the one that I'll be talking about, and given my sort of point of view, is the classic zombie film, Return of the Living Dead. Now, this, from the get-go, guys, I will say is my favorite zombie film. There's loads of classic zombie films, so the Romero films. I will tell you why this is called Return of the Living Dead, and the whole sort of like drama thing that happened with the Night of the Living Dead films, and then the spin-off to sort of like Dawn of the Dead, and then Return of the Living Dead, and why this is what. I'll give my memories and everything like that. But before I do that, quickly want to say a quick big shout out to Luke Hayes Payne. So basically, Luke, absolutely fantastic. He's one of our listeners at Get To Da Choppa, and he sent me a pair of 3D glasses. So my projector is a 4K projector, and yeah, it's also a 3D projector as well. And me and Luke, like I said, we normally chat online a couple of times, and we got into a conversation about projector, and he asked me if I'd sort of seen any films in 3D, and I just said, oh, I haven't got any 3D projectors. And he's like, oh, I'll send you some. And he sent me a pair, but it was the wrong type of pair for my projector, because I didn't know that the different sort of type. I thought they were all standard, but no, mine's, I think it's like a DLP or something like that. So it's the way the glasses react to the light. And yeah, so I sent them back, and Luke, kindly enough, then sent me another pair. So I really, really appreciate it. And what I am going to watch is some 3D films, and Luke has basically recommended Tron Legacy. Now, I've got Tron Legacy on 4K, but you know what? It's one of those films that I've never seen in 3D, and any excuse to watch the film again, I will watch. So I'm going to be going down a 3D journey. I'll be getting stuff like Tron Legacy, stuff like Mad Max Fury Road, and whatever any other 3D films are out there. So again, guys, please feel free to recommend any films on the Facebook group. I will be doing polls at some point. I'm carrying on with my horror theme here. Now, I am going to go into hospital on Thursday. This podcast will probably come out probably Sunday when I'm recording it, but slightly later on during the day, so it's ready for Monday. Yeah, so I'll try and record, even though like I'm going in hospital, I'm getting my meniscus repaired. I'm a little bit scared, but you know what? I think in the long term, it'll be for the best. Anyway, and with that, I'm going to be watching Return of the Living Dead. I don't think there's any special cut. I think there is like two different versions. There's the version where you've got the original score, the original music that they used, and then you've got another version where I think they had lost the rights, so then they started using different music. And I believe the 4K version I've got has got the rights for the music again. Oh, and I've got to mention as well, the 4K version by Arrow does come with an amazing little art book, reversible sleeve, and just an amazing sort of like cover art. It's incredible. And with that then, let me start putting the music on so I can hear where I am going. I'll do a little countdown, and then I'll press play. So 3, 2, 1. Right, so it's just loading up because I'm watching the 4K. I've got a coffee in hand, all ready to go. It's 5 something in the morning. Metro Golden Mayer. Now, okay, it says the events portrayed in this film are all true. The names and real names of real people and real organizations. Now, that's not true, but I love it when films do that. The medical supply, 5:30 p.m. Now, I love the cast in this. 4th of July. I love this film. It's horror, comedy, perfection. Hey, good at Freddy. I love this film. I'm sorry if I'm being very quiet, but I just love the story. I love the natural acting. Now, I love this. Look at the thing, the optical thing test there. Everything's got like a hidden stuff. There's so many different things that will say things in the background. These two are phenomenal. Phenomenal actors. Good question. I love the banter between these two guys. Now, I do love the guy that plays Freddy because this guy here, this young guy, I forgot his name is, but he also plays Tommy Jarvis in Friday the 13th. Now, Friday the 13th films are one of my favorite horror films. I need to do them at some point. And there was different Tommy Jarvises, but this guy here was always my favorite Tommy Jarvis. He was always my favorite. You had Corey Feldman as young Tommy Jarvis, and you had the other guy when it was the New Blood, where they're in the psychiatric sort of home thing or care home. And then you had this guy who brought Jason back to life. And I always loved that film. And I always liked this guy because I think this guy was good. He's like a young, good-looking guy, does everything he does correctly. And it works really, really well. I've got to admit, this 4K does look really, really good. I never noticed like Freddy had like an earring there. And that's the thing with 4K films. You notice a lot more detail. Everything stands out a lot more. Now, the good thing about a 4K as well, it's the HDR. HDR can sort of like give everything a little bit more color range, basically. Now, this is the motley crew of the gang, Freddy's friends. You've got Freddy's girlfriend down there at the front. Then you've got Trash, the redhead there. Then you've got Miguel Nunes. I can't remember what his character's called. And now that punk there, I've got to say this from the get-go, I'm torn about this film for this reason. That guy is a convicted predator. Basically, he works in some kids programs and whatever else, and he was known to sort of like do things he shouldn't be doing. And it sort of really puts a bad taste on the film. And it's one of those questions I want to put out to you guys, actually. How do you feel about actors or directors when you know they've got like a history, or even musicians like Michael Jackson? How do you feel when there's that stain on their reputation? How does that affect you, the movies, the music, the performance that they do? Does it ruin it for you, or can you still watch it the same? Same thing, the film Jeepers Creepers. You know, the director, apparently he was known and he got arrested and whatever else. But the thing is, it's a good film. And I'm torn. Yeah, now here you mention, well, they mention the zombies. I love that chemical, the name of it. It's just brilliant. Now, I want to say one thing, though, guys. Now, this is like a spin-off of the Romero Night of the Living Dead films. Now, I can't remember the name of Romero's partner who he made Night of the Living Dead films, but then due to some sort of disagreement, producers or whatever else, they went in different directions. Romero kept the Dead sort of like, so that's why the next one is Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and this kept Living Dead. So the original Romero's Night of the Living Dead, and then afterwards it became Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and then this became sort of its own spin-off, really. Return of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead Part 2, 3, don't watch 4 or 5, they're terrible. And there is a 5th one coming out. I just feel like they've lost the soul. The second one was more of a retelling, remake. It was sillier, looks a bit more low budget. It's watchable. But this is almost perfection. I've got to admit, I would want to see him. What are the odds? I just love the introduction to this, how the outbreak happens. It explains things, it gives everything a nice backstory, whereas in certain zombie films, you don't know what happens. I love the sets in this. I love the special effects. I love the music. Everything about this film is just brilliant. I love the humor. I love the acting. Wow. Now, this is one thing here. He gets like a big roll of tissue when he wipes it. Rather than just like get a little bit, he just uses the whole thing. I'd be terrified if I saw that looking through that glass. Look, here we go. A little bit of a spray. You know what? I'll use the whole thing. Like that. Here we go. And this is the introduction to the film. That was all pre-film. And here come the credits and the music. And like I said, the music in this film is one of the greatest musics in any film. And then the title, Return of the Living Dead as a zombie. The tar man starts melting away here. Brilliant special effects. Clu Gallagher, James Karen, starring Don Calfa. Tom Matthews, Miguel Nunez, Brian Peck. Brian Peck's the punk guy. Horrible Man. You got Liana Quigley and loads of other people. Now, interesting fact then, this was, I believe, directed by Dan O'Bannon. Now, Dan O'Bannon is the creator of the story of the film Alien. Now, a lot of people just say it was, Ridley Scott. No, it weren't Ridley Scott. It was Dan O'Bannon. He was the mastermind. He was the brain behind it. Obviously, Ridley Scott directed it. He had his say and combined him with Giga, the creative division of what the creature would look like. But the main story was Dan O'Bannon. I love this music. This music is like... Dun, 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 dun. It's quite terrifying. Look, the spray going through. Now, I first saw this produced by Tom Fox, Dan O'Bannon. Directed by Dan O'Bannon. I thought maybe I might have been wrong. Now, I saw this on VHS. It was one of those that had that interesting cover, hand drawn artwork, very punk rock. Love it. Everything stood out. Everything is just done right. So VHS, I've seen this. Grainy, mucky. I watched this with my friend Noel, and it's one of the first horror films I watched. He was really into horror films. At the time, I was scared. But, as a kid, about 11-year-old, and he would rent films, come to my house, watch films, and he recommended it. Then I ended up obviously getting it on DVD. The DVD version, like I said, I had different music because they had lost the score at a certain point. And for years, I thought that was it. I'd lost my thingy. Then obviously Blu-ray, I ended up getting like a Spanish version, which was a Region 0. And now I've got the 4K version. Oh, poor lady. This guy's got a nice house. It's almost like a little Batman thing. He's got like an old hidden thing with buttons and phones and... Nice little bar there. I need a bar. I really do. It'd be nice to have a bar in the man cave. I love that chain to his ear. Now, the black guy there, Miguel Nunes, I love this guy again. He's been in a few things I've seen, but again, most notably, he's the guy from Friday the 13th films, the guy that gets that famous line, "Those damn enchiladas." I love these guys. I just love the whole look at them. They all stand out. They all look different. They're all unique. And again, that's something like nowadays you wouldn't get. And again, I know I keep going on about films nowadays. Everyone just looks so similar. So generic, like young people are getting work done. And you know what? This crew are a good-looking crew. But they stand out. They've all got their sort of like stuff that stands out. The Resurrection Cemetery. I need a boombox actually for the man cave. That plays cassette. I love the costumes, the outfits. I need a medical supply. You need it? We got it. This is where things start getting interesting then. These two work so well together, honestly. Now, I know they basically play the same roles, different characters, but same roles. they work so well together. Like in the second one, like they're grave diggers, and they sort of like end up in this chaos. But I could have seen these guys playing father and son, like brothers, and any other sort of film where, because they work so well together. Interesting fact, Tom Matthews still stars in a fan-made film called Never Hike Alone, which is a fan film for Friday the 13th. Really good, actually. He's in, I don't want to spoil, well, I'll spoil it. He's in towards the end of the first Never Hike Alone, and then he's in the whole thing for Never Hike Alone Part 2. Definitely check it out. It's more of a serious Friday the 13th film, whereas I prefer, like, when Tom Matthews first came into it, it was funny, interesting, quite, the deaths were over the top. Jason became invincible. How bad must that smell? Now, I love all the little details. Like these guys, look, they're all sweaty. Look at the bags under their eyes. I've got to admit, this looks really good. The 4K really adds depth. That's what I like about the HDR. Oh, poor little doggy, little half dog. Now, what I love about this film is, oh, what I love about this film is you had the Romero rules that everyone was aware of, and then this added its own set of rules. And this is where the line brains come from. In zombie culture, it comes from this film. It never came from like films before. It was this that did it. Look at the little butterflies moving. It's little things like that. Now, this is the I thing. Burt is a slave driver and a, what's it? Son of a bitch who's... This film's got so many little touches like that. That's the first thing I would have done. I would have called the army, going, whoops, I've done something stupid. I like the way he does his hair before he has to phone him up. I love it. Just phenomenal actor. Look how sweaty she is. I've been dying to watch this on 4K. Now, as an 11-year-old kid, I remember this was the scene that my friend sold me on why I should watch this film. She's a beautiful woman. I like Miguel's face. Look at him. This film, why this is in there? Because it's in there, because they could. But you know what? It suits the tone of the film. The 80s, the characters, the craziness, the music, it suits it. Now I've got to admit, this looks good in 4K. Like the darkness, the flares, the lights reflecting on the graves looks really good. And yeah, she looks really good as well. What a shot! Interesting fact that's Bert and that's Ernie. Bert and Ernie. Sesame Street. What would you guys do in this situation? I mean, I'm a bit of a chicken shit, so I would probably call the police, the army. Just get it over and done with. You know, you'd get a fine, slap on the wrist. I'm sure they wouldn't want to talk about it. It'd be done, or would it? His face. The sweat is really good in 4K. You notice things like that. That really adds to a film. The tension. Like right past him. Ugh, just grabbing him. It's that horrible yellow skin tone that he's got. Now, originally, the model for the way this guy looks, it's not a model there at the moment, it's just an actor, but later on in a little bit, it looks like a certain way. But originally they had like a different special effects guy, and the guy wasn't as good as he claimed to be. And everything he did looked really poor and amateurish that anyone could have done a better job. And I believe there's still scenes where you just see it slightly, where it looks a bit too foamy, not quite real. But then they brought in the real guy to come in and do the special effects. Oh, this is gross. The gargling sound. Ooh, gooey. And little things like that, so clever. You just see the legs, you just see the body, you just see certain bits, but it works. Combine that with like practical, like that, it works phenomenal. It looks like he's wearing a bodysuit. You can see his feet. Yep, not in this film. Didn't the movie lie? Love it. Love that line. Now, now, obviously, this film has loads of different sort of like things that were new to zombie films. These guys, just the tension, the build-up, the acting. Check out, like, Freddie's face. Now, if you think Tom Matthews must have been a young actor there, like, not like a big actor or whatever else, but he does the role brilliantly. They all do perfect sort of horror, I'm scared, but also in the next scene, it's quite hilarious, or they say something. Now, I want to talk about how this film is shot. This film is a good film, so the cinematographer did a great job, but the director had in mind of the way he wanted everything framed. Oh, she is beautiful. That'd probably be me. I like this guy. No one does. I love this guy. I always liked her as well. Now, this is where things get interesting. There's all hidden things about this guy being a Nazi. The music he's listening to. What is he smoking? He's actually even smoking. Ugh. It's just like how they focus on that. Look, he's got some Nazi stuff in the background there, I believe. I never noticed that poster in the background before. Whoa. I wouldn't want a cup of coffee from this guy when his hands are covered in all that crap and he's drinking from a little dish. Oh, it's gross. I'd be like that. I'd be like, oh, God. Great actor again. I love this little story, the little tales. It builds a relationship and friendship. Sorry, I'm drinking my coffee. I always need my coffee first thing in the morning. I record these things in the morning because my family are asleep, hopefully. My dog is asleep. My cat's out for the night. Sometimes my cat will scratch at the window to let the dog know, to let me know. So apologies if there's any barking. Oh, it's gross. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, I love that. I love that switch, that transition. Good special effects. I know that's just a hand, but even the fake one there. I love his little. Ah. Look at these guys. Every time you see him, they're looking worse for wear. Looking paler now. Go choke a chicken. I love that line. I love that little. Why are they all so sweaty? How hot is it there? I never noticed that it's how sweaty. And again, the good thing about HDR and 4K is when it's nighttime scenes, you can actually see things. Yeah, things are darker, but it gives everything a real sense of depth. I think stuff with Blu-ray, they lighten night scenes up so you can actually see what's going on. Some films, I suppose that's probably the best thing to do, but this is more like what you would have seen if you had seen this in the cinema. Oh, the music is brilliant in this. Obviously, this must have influenced loads of stuff like from Resident Evil. That reminded me of Resident Evil there. Just the angles, her walking along, the slow pace, nothing really happening, but you know something is going to happen. It is a big favor. What is this favor? You never find out what the favor is. What is the favor he wants to ask him? Is it money? Is it something with his wife? Is it setting him up? Is it? I don't know. What is the favor? We never find out, but I like that. He thought, you know what? This favor is worth it. And here we go. We see the crematorium or the machine or whatever, the incinerator. Now, this film, where, okay, they do mistakes, but they do things where you think they're doing the thing and they do the right thing, but leads on to other worse things. So this film then, well, I'll quickly let this scene unfold and then I'll talk about I'll mention the trioxin thing. So apparently the trioxin thing in this was actually like based on the stuff that they sprayed in sort of Vietnam, Vietnam, where everyone got sick and it just affected people later in life and stuff like that. And it just lingered on, basically. I don't know what that chemical's called. This music again. Now, on the Blu-ray, that smoke is overly green. And here it's got like a slight hint of green, so you know it's polluted. Maybe I prefer the Blu-ray, the way it looks, the smoke, actually, because I do feel like it should be more poisonous related. This is more subtle. Again, the way that is shot, the smoke going up, the lightning, the rain happening, the camera panning down, back to the graveyard, the music playing. Oh, man. So underrated, this film. You've got some amazing sort of like zombie films nowadays. You know, Train to Busan. You've got like whatever else. But this really is just amazing. Now, earlier on, I said I wanted to talk about like another metaphor for this film. The metaphor is basically that the chemical, whatever, it's like nuclear waste, like nuclear energy. You can't quite get rid of it, and it lingers on, and even then it's contaminated, it spreads. There's no real way of getting rid of it, even through time. It's just there. And it is, like, even though these people aren't dead yet, they start getting burned. How would that affect them later life? And the fact that is that you can't get rid of it. You can cut them up, you can kill them, you burn them, it goes up into the sky, it rains, it starts that cycle again. And that's what I love about this film. How do you escape this? And again, I look at this. I love the way it's shot. The water going through the ground, dripping through the dirt, and then reanimating the dead. It's kind of like in a way when people create plastic as well. You can get rid of it. Then you've got all the little micro things. It goes into the sky. It goes into the ocean. The fish eat it. Then other animals eat it and we eat them. It's just there. I do think they should have mentioned that beforehand. I know in the chaos and in all the panic, they didn't, but you know what? It's good that he's taking them. He could have just said, no, I can't do them. It's like normally, like if you do go to the hospital, you'd have to say what chemical, what it was. I've got to admit, even though this is a 1980s film, wasn't super high budget, the budget looks really nice. I love the way it's shot, like the yellow tiles there, whatever else. It's got colour, it's got life to it. And that's the thing is, like, I find nowadays films can be too generic and thingy. If you look at films from the 70s, actually, they look really good in 4K. The set designers must have had the time of their life doing this. Great acting. Phenomenal acting. I just love the slow motion. Like if something's creeping through there. Obviously, at the moment, there isn't. But I love the faded out, blurred, slow motion of the camera here and the rain. Great choices here. And here we go. Proper zombies crawling from the ground. Now, with all that chaos there, I would be like, you know what? I'm going to go back to the car, hang out with my friends, see them. But I guess what keeps her there is that she sees Freddy's hat. Now, I am listening to this with headphones because I'm recording this on my Rodecaster Pro Studio on my Shure SM7 microphone. But the sound is just right. So I'm really going to enjoy watching all these classic films that I have seen before. I'm also going to watch films that I haven't seen before, stuff like The Terrifier 2, and whatever else is out there, like Barbarian and whatever else. But, I do want to mostly watch films that I've rewatched again, and it gives me a whole new purpose in recording these. Now, don't forget, guys, I will be doing just regular podcasts about gaming, TV shows, whatever else, but sometimes I like watching a film. Oh, check this out. Tarman. Beautiful. Now, when I say beautiful, it's just how amazing does that model special effects look? Beautiful. I wonder what I'm talking about there, guys. Brains. And the walking of the zombie. Now, I'm going to say Tarman looks very different to what I expect him to look like in the original film. I could have sworn he was just all slimy, gooey. He was like made out of tar type thing, hence the name Tarman. But in this, you can see, because it's 4K, it's a guy in an outfit, in black outfits, whether it's sort of like black cut up costume and whatever else. So I suppose the 4K does show the limitation, but everything does look wetter, gooier and shinier. Not in a bad way. Yeah. I would literally be shitting myself. No word of a lie. Quick, lock the door. Uh-huh. I agree. God, I tell you what, guys, I love watching films in 4K. Now, not every film in the future will be 4K because I haven't got every 4K available. That would cost me an arm and a leg, basically. It cost me so much. But I intend to get myself at least like 1 or 2 4Ks a month if I'm lucky. Depends on how I'm doing money-wise. But 4K really makes colors pop, just like the fire and the ambulances, these paramedics, the yellow sort of like coats they're wearing, the skin tones, the tongue there, just everything looks really just pops, really. Now, and again, this film, people always underestimate what they think a 4K should look like. Some sort of younger generation people think that films from the 80s and whatever will look like modern films. Without cleaning up and getting rid of the grain, it would look just too, almost like video game. It's got all the detail here with all the grain. Now, sometimes grain can be worse. Sometimes it can be good. It's normally pretty bad in night scenes in certain films. Certain films like, I'll be honest with you, Ghostbusters, I watched that a while back. I've not seen it in my projector, but I watched it on the TV. And it really has a lot of grain where it can almost be slightly distracting. So I'll need to watch that at some point again. I love this scene here. They're not even that far away. Now, I will say the soundtrack in this is incredible, but the soundtrack in the other release is also incredible. So it's worth owning both if you can, guys. I'm really getting drawn into this film. Not just because our ass is in display, but it's just the shit has really hit the fan, basically. Now, when you think of a zombie film, you expect the bodies to rise from the ground. Now, obviously, that is like a puppet. You could even see like how its jaw opens there with a little mechanical pull string type thing. But this is what you expect a zombie film, zombies to look like. Even like in Michael Jackson's Thriller. And you don't really see that in too many films. You just see maybe them coming out of a coffin or whatever else. This is full on. Well, she got her wish. Now it's all clicking. Now, what I like interesting, you've had two stories happening, the young punks, and then you've got the older sort of like people there, and they've had their story unfolding, and this is the first time where the two stories combine. Really brilliantly shot. And this is it, look, running zombies. Before this, zombies didn't run. And there's always that discussion. It's like, oh no, we don't like running zombies, especially after the remake, the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead, where everyone was like, oh no, running zombies should be slow. You know what? Zombies can be whatever the film needs it to be. And I feel the zombies, not only do they run, they're smart, they're coordinated, they can't be destroyed. These are my favorite perfect zombies, because how do you survive this? Ultimately, you can't. Once the shit hits the fan, it's all going to go downhill. It's going to just like, love that scene. Now, I mean, when they're getting attacked, it's not as gory as, say, Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead. But it's that being smothered, being overwhelmed, being sort of like outnumbered. It's quite good, actually, that woman who's acting there. She almost looks like she's like a scared little girl. She's just saying like, oh my God, this is what's happened. The way she was just standing in fear, confessing to the adults for like what had gone on, that they'd all done something that they shouldn't have been doing. And the adults are like, all right, I don't know what we're going to do. Whoa, totally forgot about that. Now, when I think about this, the young actors here are all in their 20s. They're young. You know, I'm probably the age of these older guys now. You know, I'm in my sort of late 40s, nearing 50. I've got to admit, Miguel Nunez, he should have been in a hell of a lot more. Really should have been in a hell of a lot more. I'm going to have to look him up on IMDb after the film's finished, because he's a good actor. And this guy, I don't know what else he's been in, but he's a good actor. I think everyone in this is a good actor. Apart from that punk guy who's just, don't know, I hate him for that reason. Oh, this bit's brilliant. Use like an amputee. Look at that. Oh. Even his coat's a bit Nazi-ish. Now, again, guys, because it's October, I will be doing Halloween films, or scary films. Probably this will be the last horror film I'll be doing for this Halloween. But for every month, I'll try and do something a little bit sort of month-related. So obviously around Christmas films. I do plan a few films already, stuff like Die Hard, maybe Christmas Vacation. And again, when you think of zombies, you think of this. Arms going through windows, you barricading at rounds. Now, whenever you watch a zombie film like this, they've always got hammer and nails and pieces of wood nearby. Where they get them from, I do not know. I mean, in my house, I don't know what you guys are like, but I've got loads of hammers, but I can never bloody find one. I've got loads of nails in the garage somewhere. Wouldn't be able to get access to him. Now, what I do like about this is just like how they're working together to try and get through this. My question is to you guys then, where would you want to be in a zombie outbreak? Would you want to be at home? Would you want to be in a shopping center like Dawn of the Dead? Oh, that was gross. That is really gross. The guy looks pretty real there. And check this out. Look how smart the zombies are. Really gross, actually, the effect, like the skin peeling off and everything, the color. But yeah, guys, you know, I want to watch loads of classic films, stuff like They Live, stuff like Escape from New York, E.T., Poltergeist, The Lost Boys, Goonies, Starship Troopers, you name it. Films, you recommend them, you can comment on the podcast page, or whether it's on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, or even on the Facebook group, which is Get To Da Choppa, and I will sort of listen to those comments. Again, guys, your feedback really does mean a lot, you know. It's just nice that someone out there is listening to me recording these. Phenomenal acting. I like this. Ah, the sounds. I like this bit here. Just the panic. I just like this, that, you know, they're doing things correctly. They're doing things right. You know, they're calling the paramedics, they're calling these sort of like emergency services, but it all leads to the same thing, the chaos that is at the Resurrection Cemetery. I mean, look at this. And look how many zombies there are. Now, it does make me wonder, it's like, how would Rick from The Walking Dead have handled this situation? You know, I would like to see a series where it's like this. Yeah, you've got, it's Black Summer, where it's slightly different. They are running zombies and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, they can still be killed. And I feel like even in the Last of Us, the creatures all end up, like the zombies all end up just being there. They're not scary after a while, whereas these things here are constantly a threat. Oh god, that's looks really horrible. The color. Oh, damn. It all looks really like gripping. These things are an unstoppable force of nature, whereas in The Walking Dead, even The Last of Us, so even in sort of say like 28 Days Later, maybe not in Train to Busan, this, like, how do you survive this? You just can't. I would love to see a series with zombies like this, and I think that was the issue with Return of the Living Dead, the films afterwards. So the second one, like I said, is too comedy. It's too much comedy. This had the perfect balance of an actual horror film, seriousness, good acting, good budget compared to the other films. The second film, like I said, it was just low budget. Everything felt a little bit cheesier. The script wasn't as tight. This is a great model. You can tell it's a model, but you know what? Looks great. Now, I never noticed the fingernails on the zombie here. How's she talking without vocal cords? That's scary. That it hurts them because they're dead and they're alive. It hurts, yeah. Oh, it's gooey, like just the blood pooling, the slimy. It's horrible. Now, in the third film, again, not terrible. Better than the second one, I feel. It's but some of the scenes do feel a little bit really low budget. Watching it in recent years, I'm like, oh wow, remember it being bigger and looking grander, but it's not. The way it's shot, it's not great, and but it has got some good moments. The fourth and fifth film, they're just like they were done by sort of like people that didn't know how to do filmmaking, and they completely lost the whole plot about how these zombies, you can't kill them, you know. They completely missed that out, which was the whole point. In this, you cannot destroy the zombies. They just keep on ticking, and even if you do, they just keep on rising. Now I like this sort of look at her. She's been reborn. She's a zombie now. The music in this is incredible. Phenomenal soundtrack. Oh, poor guy. Just living his life, struggling as it is. And there she is. Those hips. What would you do? Scary as shit, yeah. These two like really look like they're just so genuinely scared, especially her. She's having a bit of a breakdown. He's just hoping that she can say the right sort of comforting words. Look at his face. It's really sort of comical. It should be comical, but look at him. You've got them sort of twitching around, not quite, I would say, realistic, but then you've got these other actors acting. Never noticed it before as much. And it's them moaning and screaming that adds to the drama. That's a committed girlfriend. Right, it's coming up to 6:30 in the morning now. Got like about another 15, 20 minutes of this film. Hopefully my wife and daughter will stay asleep. Now, also, guys, I will be doing the Romero Dawn of the Dead films, like Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. I might even get the 4K version of the remake of Return of the Living Dead, which, controversial, guys, I prefer the remake, which is directed by Tom Savini, over the original George Romero film. And the reason being is I prefer the acting in that film. I feel like it's better, but I can understand how important the original Night of the Living Dead is. Oh, damn, that was horrible. That looks gory in 4K. It's really well shot. I mean, look at the light coming through there. They're just sort of there in the shadows. I love that. That's a good idea. Damn, that is good. Look at the way he's tensing up his hands, the way he's salivating, spitting, the moaning. Tina's a good woman wanting to be there with her man. He's gone. He's finally resurrecting. He's dead. And it's only a matter of time. We know this. I don't think she knows. I love the slow motion. Adds to it. Oh, this music is amazing. I like the foaming in the mouth. It was almost like rabies. Lots of screaming in this. Boom. Whack him on the head. That looks really solid how they hit him. Oh. Ah. The danger of the way he threw it, though, it could literally just splash back. The music, the theme music for this, has aged fantastically. It's like a fine wine. I like this bit. I love it. He needed that. He knew he needed that. I think somewhere in life, we all need to sort of bring someone round like that. And it's not to be cruel. Just they need that reality slap. That's what I want to call it. It's called a reality slap. See, he needed that slap. He's back to normal now. How did that hurt his leg? Saying that though, like, you know, all it takes is like a little fall and you end up tearing your meniscus like I have. I've got a full medial meniscus tear. And the meniscus is the spongy thing in between the knee joints. Oh, it's his foot. Broke. Look how foamy he is. You can tell he's a boss because he's good at barking out instructions and orders. What's that favor? I want to know what that favor is. I'm going to have to Google what that favor was. Because I'm sure someone, the director, some screenwriter, knows what that favor was. I love the chaos. I love it. This is what you need. Walking Dead zombies, you can walk around. Romero zombies, you can walk around. This, come on. They're literally just throwing themselves everywhere. They're running after the car. Turn on the windshield wipers. Come on, guys. I love the way it's shot. Look at the zombie still running. I don't know what sort of frames or shutter things you're doing to the camera there, but it looks really good. Damn, they're just everywhere. And this is what I love about this. Everything looks like something is going on, whereas I feel in Return of the Living Dead 3, it's very empty for them being in the city. Here they're in a smallish town, but still, it feels like it's populated. It feels like there's a lot going on. This reminds me of Resident Evil. Not anymore. Haha, yeah. The music acts like a heartbeat. The yelling's very primal. And they're just having to escape. Look at his face. He's all constantly dribbling or oozing something. I love this. Really, I don't want to say beautiful moment, but he knows he's going to die. He knows he's going to turn. And he takes off his wedding band, places it there. Damn. And look, just more burning away. You don't have to see it. You just have to experience that. You know what's going on. And that is good storyline telling. And again, look at these police. There's loads of police cars. There's loads of things. Look at this. We're all waiting in ambush. There is a few films that I do want to get, though. Don't know if you guys have seen it. A film called Maximum Overdrive. I think it was actually directed by Stephen King. I'm not quite sure, maybe. It's got Emilio Estevez. It's not a great film, but you know what? It's like when cars and vehicles and other motorized things start coming to life. And hopefully somewhere down the line as well, I'll be able to get my friend Damien Sayers to come along onto this podcast and do some of these commentaries with me as well, because you know what? That guy is a fountain of knowledge when it comes to films. Honestly, like I feel sometimes I know a lot. That guy completely outdoes me. He's like a walking IMDb. You don't need IMDb with Damien. You just need him by your side and he'll tell you who worked in what, who starred in what. And it's just like, it's quite amazing. That's why he's my best bud. It's just like, he's just a fountain of knowledge. I do like her fear. Her fear is really good. And look at him. He's like acting like a dad, you know, protecting his daughter, protecting his child, even though it's not, it's just like a primal instinct. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to let him get us. If I have to take us both out, I will. But man. Whoa. Great shot. Now, Tarman is in part 2. I can't remember. I don't think, is he in part 3? I can't remember. I've not seen part 3 in a while. But Tarman's never looked the same like the way he does in this film. He looks perfect in this film. Although I've got to say, I think I like the way he looks more like in VHS because leaves more to the imagination. You can tell it's more of a costume, special effects thing in this film, the 4K version. But again, I cannot complain. The 4K version is phenomenal. That's why I love 4Ks. I've always been a little bit torn originally when I started seeing things in 4K. I always just imagined like films looking too clean, seeing too much, but no, it's the detail. It adds more depth and everything, like the colors in the background, the rain and his glasses. Phenomenal. You know, I want to do films like The Exorcist. I want to do films like Drive. I want to do just the Predator films, Aliens, you know, even sort of stuff like Pulp Fiction. I haven't got Pulp Fiction in 4K yet, but I will do at some point. Reservoir Dogs, films like Clerks, The Blair Witch. There's so many films that I want to rewatch and do commentaries for. And at the end of the day, if 30 people listen to him, I'm happy, you know. Hello? I just had to do my Stewie Griffin. Hello? About bloody time. I love her acting as well, with a little axe thing. And there he is, Miguel Nunez with his hammer. He's like a black Thor. I like it, yeah. I just love the sets. I love the way this is shot. He's been waiting his whole life for this. He has, look, it's pen and paper right next to his bed. Good question. I love how calm he is. I just love her expression in the background. Yeah, I'm also going to be doing films like The Ring, The Grudge, the remakes of them. I'll be doing classic films, sort of like Clash of the Titan, Jason and the Argonauts. Just films, you know, that we've all watched. And obviously, I'll give you guys plenty of notice and time and tell you where you can watch them. Not all films, like I said, I will be able to watch on 4K. I've got Blu-rays, DVDs. I've got streaming like Netflix, Disney, Prime. I've even got Sky TV, so there's always something to watch. I might even watch some TV series, actually. I'd love to rewatch Game of Thrones again. Oh, I feel bad for them. They all feel like they're going to get saved. I like the fact he's reading a little comic book there. I like the fact that they've got like a young guy in such a serious position. You know, you normally think that they'll probably get someone with a bit more experience, a bit more background. But hey, this actor's really good in this role that he's done. It's only got a small amount of screen time, but it's so believable. The sound. That bit there. You know what? I need to watch Oppenheimer. I've not seen it. So also I will be watching films for the first time as well and reacting to them. Or is it? And that's the thing about this film. Same scene again, same skeleton that pops up. They completely forget the story of what happens. They could have continued the film of the outbreak already happening everywhere, but nope, they restarted it again. Maybe it would have been too large of a scale of a film, so I keep it small. Amazing film there. Phenomenal tar, man. And I love the way they show the little clips there. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening and watching. Big shout out again goes to Luke Hayes Payne for sending me the 3D glasses. I really appreciate it, mate. I can't wait to watch Tron in 3D and other 3D films like Piranha 3D. Right, guys, I'm going to call it a day. I've got lots to do. I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.
Undone. Spider's got the moves with as cool as ice flare. Chuck's cracking jokes like he just don't care. Scuzz with his mohawk standing tall and proud. Casey's got the attitude to silence a crowd. We're the gang that's breaking graves tonight, raising hell under the pale moonlight. Brains are calling, but we won't run. Punks forever till the night's undone. Graveyard party with a zombie parade. Underground legends in a world decayed. No rules, no masters, just a punk rock scream. Living or dead, we're the nightmare dream. Freddy's got the charm, but he's losing his